The company TerraOnion has recently released a new device called the Multi-Optical Disc Emulator, or MODE for short. It's around $215, supports USB, microSD, and SATA storage, and is currently compatible with the Sega Saturn and Sega Dreamcast. So, let's see how it works. After buying a mode, the first decision you'll have to make is what storage option you'd like to use, and this could be a tricky decision. See, the mode supports microSD, SATA, and USB storage, but with a few limitations. First, only 2 could be used at a time. Next, USB can't be used when SATA drives are installed because they physically block the USB connector. And lastly, SATA drives are by far the most cost-effective choice for people looking for a lot of storage, since you can get a 1 terabyte regular 2.5-inch hard drive for around $50 or less. Alternatively, a 1 terabyte microSD will sell for 4 times the cost, and even SSDs, like I prefer to use, are pretty reasonably priced, making the mode fairly cost-effective overall if you're using a lot of storage. There's one issue with this, though. If you use a SATA drive, anytime you need to add or remove games, add files for a firmware update, or update cover art, you'll need to disassemble the entire thing to get to the drive. You could try to use a small SSD and connect it to the USB port, but you'd have to make sure to find one that fits well enough to close the lid. There might be other alternatives, but I'll show that later. Once you've figured out your storage solution, drive setup itself is really easy and the exact same for all media. Simply format it exFAT, which shouldn't require any special software at all. Then create folders on the root of the drive labeled either Saturn or Dreamcast. Lastly, copy your games into their own folders, and you could use as many subfolders as you'd like for sorting. I definitely recommend checking for firmware updates before first use, as this is a new device, and I'm sure they're constantly going to be updating it. Also, if you'd like to download cover art, you're going to need to sign up for a second account on TerraOnion's website, and that brings me to my first complaint. You have to register your device to get firmware updates. Now, I realize this is for security reasons, and I might have done the same thing in their position, but just because it might be the right thing to do doesn't make it any less annoying. Also, the fact that you need a second account to download the cover art seems really dumb, because it's not like there's a security issue with artwork files. Anyway, to add the artwork files, log in, download the file, and extract it to the root of the drive. You'll only need to keep the bin file though, not the zip. Now that your drive is prepared, let's show hardware installations. I'll start with the Dreamcast, as it's definitely the easier of the two, as long as you don't have a VA2 Dreamcast. Those are the only models not compatible. Much like other ODEs, connecting the mode is as simple as just unbolting the existing drive and bolting this in its place. Just take your time and make sure there's enough room to work. I even removed the power supply just to make this easier. In fact, while you have the Dreamcast open, you might want to consider a few other mods that I highlighted in a few different videos. One suggestion I have is to use the anti-static bag and box the mode comes in to save the original optical drive. You shouldn't waste these, as you never know if you might need it, and it actually fits good enough. Also, for this installation, I'll be using a custom 3D printed bracket from laserbear.net. This is actually an unfinished prototype, but the final product will look similar, with the biggest difference being an SD card extension cable. This way you'll have a nice, finished look with easy access to SD card storage and a button for disk swapping. If you're using a SATA drive, having easy SD card access like this will solve the issue of disassembling the console every time there's a firmware update. You could just add it to an SD card and update from there. The mode is still really new, so maybe we'll see an option to copy files to and from the microSD card to the hard drive. It won't be the easiest solution, but at least you'd be able to add and remove games to the hard drive without removing it. The Saturn installation is much trickier only because of how many Saturn revisions there are, but all versions are supported. At the moment, there's another ODE for the Saturn that performs really well, but it's only compatible with very specific models, so the full compatibility of the mode really stands out here. I suggest reading through the manual to see the proper way to install yours, but on this particular Saturn, it was pretty much as easy as the Dreamcast. Unbolt the old drive and mounting posts, plug in the power, lid, and ribbon connectors, then mount it to the Saturn. If you'd like, you can solder a few more connections to allow hardware region changing, but I didn't bother since I only want to output NTSC on this console. LaserBear will have a bracket prepared for the Saturn as well, but you could also use the plastic mounting posts the mode ships with, as I'm showing here. Once again, I strongly suggest getting the LaserBear mounts with each mode, as it'll give you access to the microSD slot without taking the entire console apart. Or, I guess just dangle a small SSD in there like I showed before. After it's installed, the mode works pretty much the same on both the Dreamcast and the Saturn. A few things to note though, I'll be using mostly the Dreamcast for captures in this video, just because I have a DC HDMI and the captures of that look really amazing. And also, the Sega Saturn mode menu is currently 480i only, just to allow for more text on the screen, but that's why you'll see the mode Saturn menus are a little bit flickery from the deinterlacing process. Now, Terra Onion said they think they're going to look into a 240p mode, but this only affects the menu, so I really don't think it matters at all. Alright, let's check out what happens after first boot. If you loaded a firmware file on the microSD card, it'll prompt to start updating on first boot. If you're using a hard drive, you'll have to manually access it in the menu, but it's the same exact procedure. After the firmware update is finished, or on normal boot, the mode auto-detects which console is connected and boots to the root of the corresponding folder. Pressing X will bring you to the options screen, and please check the manual for detailed info on all of these, but I'll quickly run through them. For Dreamcast, you could toggle the way games are displayed in the menu, auto-patch games from any region to play on your console, force the VGA patch on compatible games, and change some speed options. There's also a fast boot option that'll skip the BIOS screen, but it's still an unfinished beta feature, so I won't be demoing this. I definitely wanted to mention it though, as it'll save a few seconds after launching a game, so check for that in a future firmware update. GDROM seek time slows down loading times to match the original speed of the GDROM, and I'd leave this off unless you're having trouble with a specific game. Also, I always set the GDROM read speed to max for the fastest loading times, but if you have any issues with games, you could slow this down as well. Then the rest just adjusts how the reset functions are performed. On Saturn, the options are similar, but with the ability to switch the regions between NTSC and PAL, provided you added the extra wire during installation. Please remember that you won't need to do this to play PAL games on an NTSC console, only to change the console's output signal. Toggling the game list mode will allow you to view your games with cover art. However, the first time you enable this, you'll need to scan the subfolders to add it by holding A to bring up the sub-options menu in each directory. I only have 2 for both regions of games that I've loaded on here. I'm honestly not sure why this wasn't included in the main options menu, but maybe that's something that they're going to implement in a future firmware update. I also hope they'll change some of the default labeling, as subfolders just list as no cover, and the back button to go back to the previous folder is labeled folder. That's kind of confusing, but once again, I'm sure all of this is going to be easily corrected in a future firmware. After loading, you get really nice cover art, but it's slow to navigate. Every time you scroll a line up or down, it pauses to load the new cover art, and there's no way to skip by page in this view. Clicking on a game gets you some nice info on it though, and if you only have a few games loaded, this might be a really nice way to display them all. I definitely just preferred the list view though, as the navigation was much faster. Games load pretty quick and definitely faster than discs, but there's a limitation to this. All ODEs are limited by the bus speed of the console itself, so it'll be almost impossible to get past the theoretical limit of the original drive. Where you do see improvement is every time you'd normally need to wait for a disk to spin up before accessing, or during part of the game when the laser assembly would need to move. Overall, just expect load times that are faster than original discs, but have realistic expectations. And while some ODEs might be a hair faster than another, none will ever be drastically different than using original discs. The mode supports games with multiple discs, however this is a 2-step process. First, you could put all the discs from a game in the same folder, which is by far the easiest method if you're only loading a handful of your favorite games onto a card. If you're dumping an entire ROM set on a drive, though, sorting through all the multi-disc games would take forever. In that case, it's easiest to just queue up each disc from a game before you boot disc 1 by highlighting the disc and holding A. Then you could select each remaining disc afterwards. Swapping discs in-game is super easy on the Saturn. Just open, then close the lid when prompted. Now, since the Dreamcast doesn't have a lid sensor, there's a few different ways to trigger the disc swap. You can connect a wire to the DC digital and use its menu to swap discs, but this is only good for DC digital users, and not the best solution for streamers gaming on a CRT, but using the DC digital to stream. You can reach in and try to press the second button on the mode itself to switch discs, but it's kinda off to the side and really close to the power supply. If you lost the plastic cover, you'd be dangerously close to touching live voltage. The 3D print from LaserBear fixes this though, with a button available right on top. Once again, this is a prototype build that Greg was nice enough to send me for this video, so the button isn't actually there yet, but the completed kit should be available around the time this video is released. Because of this easy access button, I strongly recommend people get the Dreamcast 3D printed mount with their mode. So overall, the mode seems totally fine, but is probably going to get even better as Terra Onion continues to release firmware updates. Now, I'm not trying to take away from it or downplay it by saying it like that, it's just that with an optical drive emulator, once the disc actually boots and you're in the game, you should no longer know that you're using an ODE, except for when sometimes it loads faster, and the mode totally seems to accomplish that. I really wish they thought a little bit more out of the box for this one though, especially because they advertise the mode as both a Saturn and Dreamcast ODE. A lot of people get the impression that you could kind of use it on both at the same time. And I really wish they thought of something maybe like a two-piece design, something that would sit on the inside of the console that's just a dumb pass-through device, something that would just pass the pins that are needed up into where the CD drive area is, and then maybe the mode itself with all of the circuitry and all the stuff that costs a lot of money could be something that's round and shaped like an optical disc that has all of the spots for the USB and the hard drive on there. And there's honestly a whole bunch of different reasons why I think a modular design like this would have worked better. First of all, you could just plug them between your Saturn and your Dreamcast, and that way you actually could have one device for both. But also you could have things like the buttons available right there under the lid, and of course you could have something where the storage is much more accessible and right there. You never have to open up the console in order to get to the hard drive. But in all honesty, these are just nitpicks, and it's really easy to come up with these ideas after a product's already been released and you could have your hands on it. So I'm certainly not trying to take away from the mode at all. I just always like to give perspective of what I think about a product and be honest in my impressions of it. Well, that's it for this time. Hopefully all the information provided in this video will give you a good sense of whether the mode's the right choice for you or not. Also, if you liked what you saw here, please consider signing up for any of the support services I'm a part of, such as Floatplane or Patreon, because without your help, none of these videos, the behind-the-scenes research, or the weekly podcast would be possible. Also, don't forget to check out that weekly podcast available every Wednesday as a video and everywhere audio podcasts are found. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.